social snippet show.
Hi everyone, this is Julia Doherty from Green Umbrella Marketing.
And this is Christina from Guess Where. You get a free pen if you guess and you get it wrong.
Hopefully everyone knows what the draft's about.
Yeah.
If not, we'll explain it in a future date. Anyway, today we're going to be just jumping straight right into what's all the news that's happened in the last week. It's another quiet week, which is a bit unusual. I don't know what's happening with these platforms.
Yeah, it's funny. Mind you, there's been the electronics show, this consumer electronics show in the States this week. So I think a lot of people kind of go a bit quiet, waiting to see what happens there, and then they start coding away and coming up with
New and exciting
updates
ideas
to reflect that. Yeah.
Cool. And the Osmo Pocket had a great big stand at that show.
Yeah, it did.
I love my Osmo Pocket. Okay, right, anyway, so let's go into the information that's happened last week. The first one is Instagram introduced the ability to post to multiple accounts. I think this is a really crap idea. I know I shouldn't say that word, but I just think it's a terrible idea. I know that we all know that putting the same information on multiple accounts, they're going to be similar accounts because you're producing the same sort of content. You're going to have the same sort of people following those accounts. So why would you push the same information out to different accounts? I don't like this idea.
It is really weird. It is just for business accounts though, so you can't do the multi-post thing to a personal account.
Okay.
Which is probably the only way I could see a relevance in it.
How? I still don't get it. I think it's a crap idea.
I think it's just going to encourage lazy marketing on Instagram.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So basically what they're doing is you'll be able to put content on. So say you're doing a post there, then underneath it will say, do you want to post this to this account, this account, this account, this account, like you would on a scheduling system like Hootsuite or TweetDeck or something like that. So you can post to multiple accounts just by press of a button, rather than switching and posting. So you're not producing like unique content for each account. It's just multiple posting. What do you guys think? Let us know.
We're not excited about that one.
We're not excited about
We won't be using it.
Moving swiftly on. Okay.
So YouTube have made an announcement. So when you upload a video to YouTube, you've got options at that point to automatically post it, tweet it to other platforms.
Yeah.
Basically, that ability to automatically tweet it, they've pulled. Okay. Now, I did some reading around it, and basically what they're saying is that if you're going to tweet the video, then it needs to be a more well-constructed tweet. That's what they're going for. And so they're saying, use the share option. So you'll still be able to upload your video and then straight away, go and view that video, hit the share tools that are there and tweet it that way. It's just that auto tweet thing. And if you've seen them on Twitter, it's just a little bit of text saying, Julia Doherty has just uploaded this video on YouTube and there's a link. It's usually not visual, so I think it's a good thing.
I can't remember the date it's going. In addition to that, they're scrapping the ability. So on the right-hand side, when you upload a video to YouTube, you can automatically tick a box and it will post to Google Plus as well as Twitter. Obviously, Google Plus is going anyway, but with this update, it's not just Twitter they're removing it from; it's Google Plus as well.
Yeah.
But
I think when I first read it, I thought they needed to go in and remove that Google Plus functionality. They've probably just done a review whilst they're in there and gone, actually, do you know what? This is an outdated feature. If people are using it, it's not doing anything. There's no benefit behind it. So let's just get rid of that too. But I think it's pretty imminent that it's being rolled out.
31st of January, so that's the date it's being rolled out. So in the next week or so. Oh, next 2 weeks. Okay, so right, that's that one. Next one. Do you want to talk about Google Chrome or do you want me to talk about this?
It's about the ad blocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is really clever of Google Chrome. So basically, there's lots of developers out there that are using like Google Chrome extensions so you can block adverts on Google Chrome. And basically, Google Chrome have realised this. I think something like nearly 42% of us use Google Chrome as our main browser for accessing the internet. So Google Chrome have decided that they are now going to implement their own ad blocker, and they're going to make it as a default within Google Chrome. And they're going to block any adverts that are, those annoying adverts where suddenly a video starts playing really loud, or the content of the advert is not relevant to the content of the website. They've got the mechanics of it to know that now.
Yeah, essentially low standard advertising, and I kind of read between the lines and thought maybe it's linked to the fake news thing as well. When you're on those sorts of sites, you get that type of content. But what's interesting is that they're going to block their own ads. So it's not like Google's going to let Google ads come through, which obviously they're earning money off.
Yeah.
They're also going to they're going to block those ads too.
I must admit, when I saw the headline, I thought, well, that's a bit weird. Why would Google block their own adverts? But at the end of the day, Google is all about the user experience. And they've recognised this, and they've jumped on it, and they want people to use their products, not external products. So using the Google ad blocker is going to be much more efficient than these other developers who are half-heartedly doing it. So, yeah, good on you, Google. I think that's a great one. So that's the next one is Google Chrome ad blocker will come into effect not until July, but again, it's being sort of rolled out.
Okay, so this kind of follows, the next story follows on from what we were just saying about YouTube and removing that auto tweet. In the same week, we've had an announcement from TweetDeck, which is owned by Twitter, saying that you can now schedule video through the platform. So it isn't anything new in terms of being able to schedule video, but we've always been able to do it through things like Hootsuite or eClincher that we use, and there's other tools out there you can use to schedule video, but not TweetDeck, which is owned by Twitter.
Which is a bit weird. And multiple images, so you can only do one image at a time on TweetDeck, but now they've rolled it out, this new feature.
Yeah. I think there might be something in the water, something to look out for, because I would say a few weeks, but maybe it's a couple of months ago now, there were announcements that Twitter was again looking at producing its own sort of scheduling feature within the platform. So whether this is kind of like, well, let's take TweetDeck, start to add in some functionality as part of that test, and then maybe look at merging the two. I think Twitter bought TweetDeck 2010.
Yeah, I was going to say 2011, but yeah,
and
then.
They've never really done anything with it to upgrade it, or so as Twitter itself has changed, TweetDeck kind of hasn't really.
If you see the signs though, do you know we reported just a few weeks ago that Twitter have stopped APIs or reduced the API functionality for different apps because they want people to use the Twitter app, not external apps like Tweetbot and stuff like that. So this is another way forward. So reading between the lines, we might be totally wrong, but does that mean that Twitter is going to stop the APIs for additional software such as Hootsuite and stuff like that? I don't know.
Talking about Hootsuite, I think we're now in a situation where this is going to bridge the gap between TweetDeck and Hootsuite. It might be, at the minute, I would always recommend Hootsuite over TweetDeck for people that just, managing, one Twitter account or a couple of Twitter accounts for their brand.
I don't think you can do LinkedIn, can you, on TweetDeck?
Oh, on TweetDeck, no. Oh, actually, I think maybe they did bring that in. I'll have to double check. I'm not sure now you've asked me. But like I said, looking just from a Twitter perspective, looking at the two platforms, I'm now thinking I need to go back to TweetDeck, have another look there and see, is there enough of a difference to make it that Hootsuite is a better option now, or are the two getting so close in terms of functionality that TweetDeck starts to be a better option?
Well, this article, obviously it's owned by Twitter, TweetDeck is, and they're saying that the statistics that you get within the back end of TweetDeck is really good compared to any of the social networking sites.
Hootsuite stats were awful.
Yeah, and they're expensive as well. You have to get points and stuff with it. I don't know if that's still the same.
Yeah, you buy credits to access various parts to build a report.
Yeah, so yeah, it might be worth having a look at TweetDeck. If you haven't had a look at it for a while, then check it out. Okay, so that's that one. I don't know about this one, so I'm going to let you talk about Facebook.
Okay, so obviously Facebook are on this rampage, shall we describe it as, when it comes to identifying and removing fake news from their platform. Okay. And as users, if you see something, you can report it and say, this is the this is fake news, or this isn't relevant, or whatever it might be. It's offensive. And at the minute, it's been or up until now, it's been kind of a bit of a grey area how Facebook looks at that information and decides, yeah, that's quality, that's crap. Okay. What they've done is they've teamed up with an organisation, I think it is literally called Fact Find or sort of Fact Finder, something like that. And basically, any articles that are flagged by users will get passed on to this service. It's a UK-based service as well, which I think is interesting. And basically, that independent organisation will look at the article and basically check to see if it's as it should be, if it is fake news, But what it's also going to do is it's only going to look at stuff that is being sold as being news, essentially, or, authentic. So let's say it's a piece of satire, okay? It's going to recognise that that's satire. It's not going to fact check that.
What's satire?
So something that's taking the mickey out of the situation. So let's say there was an article and it had some sort of
like Daily Mail, Daily Mirror
funny
stuff.
That's it, and it's kind of telling a story the way that the Daily Mail or the Daily Mirror would tell that story. It's going to say, well, actually, that is, that isn't trying to say this is the hard facts of this story, and therefore it's going to take that out of it. But something that is supposedly genuine, and these are the facts of the case, and blah blah blah, it's going to fact check. So hopefully, it's going to be a good move.
Yeah, and it's British.
Absolutely.
That's what we like. Okay. Right, we're going to end up with this week's tool of the week. This is a really cool one. It's called Juicer. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. And really we call it a Twitter wall, but it's not just a Twitter wall. It's a
aggregator.
Wall, aggregator. That's a posh word for it. So yeah. So basically, you put in a hashtag, whatever hashtag it is, and it will bring in all different sources from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all on one wall. So if you're doing any sort of networking event or training event or any event or expo or exhibition or anything like that,
anything where you've got a hashtag,
anything where you've got
product
hashtags,
launches,
you can even have them outside your offices and stuff like that, where it's just generating. People see it and they want their name on a board, so they end up tweeting so their name comes on a board. It's very, very clever. So that's called Juicer.
And did you say it's free?
I forgot to mention that. That's why I liked it so much. It's free, so thanks for that. We're a big fan of free. We like free. So it's free. I think it's up to 2 platforms. I think anything more than that, it does start to get quite expensive. So if you want to do a Twitter and an Instagram feed, then try that one out. It's Juicer.
Cool.
I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few other things, but I think they're the bigger things, aren't they? So they're the main things. I can't think of anything
else that's happened that I've seen over the weekend. Not even little quirky stuff where I thought, oh, that's new. I haven't seen that on Facebook before. Have you seen anything like that?
There's communities on LinkedIn for company pages, but that's kind of basically LinkedIn it looks like a company page can now follow hashtags up to 3, then click through on those hashtags and engage in the conversation there. But it's kind of started rolling out last week. We haven't seen any real announcements on it.
No,
so
it
looks like it's testing.
I've got a couple of clients now that have got it.
Yeah, we've got a few. Green Umbrella haven't.
No,
but,
we haven't got it yet. I think we mentioned that last week. But I don't think there's anything else that I've seen.
Okay.
No new stickers on Instagram, that's a first.
Woohoo! Although I have seen people using them. What's that about? Wow, guys, come on.
Okay, let's wrap it up. I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Speak later. Bye. Turn it off, turn it off.